Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real fast, which was, there's actually about 2 or 3 different articles that's going along with this, but just touching in on this one here. And, looking at, the situation that's going on with this down drone. Now, it's kind of funny and ironic, people were, speculating about, oh, this could be, well, he had, what's his name? I think Lindsey Graham. Matter of fact, it's in this, a little bit of it is in this here article. We'll read about it and then we'll speak on it because I find it's kind of funny about the hypocrisy about all this stuff, right? And to see the outrage of these so-called Americans and how they act. When not too long ago we had an event that was the opposite and they was all for this type of shit, right? So it says U.S. Senator wants nuclear war, says Moscow. American politicians are inciting an apocalyptic conflict, Russian envoy has warned. All right, and really all they're doing is baiting themselves into World War III. All right, and it's pretty how they say, instead of being covert, they're being overt, all right, about these things, man. It's all out in the open, man. All right, they're trying to, bait China into World War III by any means necessary. Obviously, they've been trying to bait Russia into World War III by any means necessary. All right, and it's just obvious now. All right, even their own allies, man, destroying the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. All right, so hey, from a so-called carnal standpoint, a carnal American standpoint, they should be asking their politicians, man, have y'all lost your minds? Like, what do y'all, you bringing yourselves down. All right. But ultimately, looking at this with a spiritual eye, we know this is all according to prophecy. All right. It says Russian ambassador to the U.S. has accused Senator Lindsey Graham of trying to provoke a dangerous escalation between the two countries after the senior lawmaker urged the Pentagon to fire on Russian fighter jets. Asked about Graham's comment on Wednesday, and Ambassador Anatoly Antov said the senator called to shoot down Russian aircraft went far beyond common sense and risked all-out war between the world's largest nuclear powers. This is by no means the first attempt by the notorious lawmaker to provoke a dangerous escalation in the U.S.-Russia relations. A year ago, he urged citizens to make an assassination attempt on the president of Russia. He said, does Senator Graham really believe that a direct military clash with Russia is in the interest of voters who entrusted him with their lives and livelihood? Now, this is coming from the Russian side, which seems like they always have more sense when dealing with this here topic. All right, because you talk to Americans about this, they all gung-ho about this. Yeah, fuck them niggas. Let's go blow these niggas up type of shit. And don't realize that, hey, y'all not dealing with no little, some niggas off in the middle of the woods, this type of shit, some backwood boys. Y'all dealing with somebody that's on par with the same type of military. In fact, they have a more advanced military than America right about now, man. All right, and you got all these pro-American brainwashed, stupid-ass people that's, America got the best military. You don't know what type of devices that they got. True enough, we may not know what all type of devices that America got, but we know what the prophecies say. All right, we know that the prophecies say that Russia's going to wax that ass, all right, them and their allies. But just look at the conflict that you got going on right now between America and Russia, man. All right, they got one proxy, Ukraine, that is taking all of NATO to back, all right, and sending their munitions and everything over at Russia. Well, you can say, well, they're not sending their top shit over there. Russia ain't using their main military either, all right? Ukraine is being supplied and constantly getting money sent over to them, all right, whilst bankrupting America and their Western allies and depleting their stockpiles of weapons, whereas Russia's GDP is gaining momentum. They making money over there, man, all right? And then plus, they not being resupplied by nobody. All right, they're not being backed by nobody, so it's just them. All right, so hey, man, and they got, not to mention the equipment, they got the hypersonic missiles, which America ain't got nothing to defend themselves against it with. They don't have hypersonic missiles. All right, the S-400 missile defense system, America ain't got nothing on par with that, man. The THAAD and the Patriot system is nowhere near on par with that. That's more comparable to the S-300. Not to mention Russia has the S-500. So what are we really talking about here? The Satan II missile, man. All right, when was the last time America upgraded their nuclear arsenal, man? All right, so hey, they're not on a even playing field here, man. All right, it says this by no means is the first attempt by the notorious lawmaker to provoke a dangerous escalation. We just read this. It says, does Senator Graham really believe that a direct military clash with Russia is in the interest of the voters who entrusted him with their lives and livelihood. Is the capital willing to put American citizens and the international community at risk of a full-scale nuclear war? Give us an answer, distinguished senator. Now, this also echoes the sentiment that Vladimir Putin said at one point in time when Obama was in office, saying, hey, pleading out to the American citizens, just like here, talk to y'all mans, talk to y'all peoples, because the shit that they doing gonna get all y'all killed out there, man. You fuck around with the bull, you get the horns at some point in time, man. And this is what they over here saying. This is all the stuff that they saying, but hey, the majority of these Americans is asleep at the wheel. All right, when things like this happen, we'll see about how many people in America talk about this here drone that was. They may talk about the drone that was down and everything, but they're not going to talk about the retaliation. All right, aspect of all these different things like that, man, and how Russia should have reacted to this, right? It says Graham appeared on Fox News earlier on Wednesday to discuss a recent close encounter between a Russian fighter jet and a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone near Crimea, calling for a tough response from President Joe Biden after the UAV was sent plunging into the Black Sea. Now look at this nigga's face right here. This, not nigga, excuse me. This is a straight demon. All right, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this is a straight demon. Look at this demon's face, right? This is how these Edomites be looking. They want to be looking like the victim. You can sit here, see how in his face he looked like he want to be calling. He really want to call somebody out, but he's, you know how these demons be playing like they're the victim. Oh, he stepped on my shoe. He's playing that music too loud, and I'm trying to sleep. Type ass nigga, man. But in reality, man, this guy's setting all you Americans up to be how you say missile food, man. All right, and they know what they doing. All right, because the likes of these people over here with all this banter and all this rah-rah type shit, they're not going to be around, when the shit start hitting the fan. They're not going to really be affected by these things, man. All right, they get you Americans into these things, and then they don't really be feeling these crunches like the price hikes, the grocery hike, all these different things that they're in control of. They don't really be rocked by these things, man. All right. It says, what would Ronald Reagan do right now? He would start shooting Russian planes down if they were threatening our assets. And then guess what? You're going to have a lot of these they'll call them patriotic Americans, but hey, they be all on the rah-rah. Yeah, we got to shoot. We got to defend we can't allow Russia to come over here to be showing us to be weak. Like, first of all, this was over there. All right. But again, let them tell it. This is what's going to happen. All right. It says, Graham told the outlet, referring to the U.S. leader who served at the height of the Cold War brinkmanship in the Soviet Union. While U.S. officials claim that one of the Russian planes collided with a drone and caused it to crash, the Russian defense minister said the unmanned vehicle went down after stalling and it never came into contact with the aircraft. Now, going into this, basically, what they saying, they got video of it as well, too, was that, while the drone was over there flying near the Russian border, they sent these jets to intercept. And basically, one of the jets flew in front of it and pretty much dropped some fuel, in the payload, which kind of like, pretty much interrupted its flight path and downed it. All right. So, it's a technicality. Well, technically, we didn't crash into it. Technically, we didn't shoot at it. Hey, it hit some debris in the air and it wound up crashing. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but it says, that would be the equivalent to, like, let's just say if you know about like boats and stuff and being on the water. Let's say you on a little small kayak or something like that, and you go in one direction and somebody come by in a big ass boat flying by, a speedboat or something like that. It never hit your boat or anything like that. But guess what? The wake that it leaves tips your canoe over, right? So the one boat really didn't come in contact with the other boat, didn't hit the boat. They didn't knock them over or anything else like that. But hey, the wake, all right, and that wave that followed after tipped the boat over. Well, that wake and that wave wouldn't be there if the boat wouldn't have went through so fast. So you'd be like, well, it is your fault, But it says, while the U.S. officials claim one of the Russian planes collided with the drone and caused it to crash, the Russian defense minister said that the unmanned vehicle went down after stalling and it never came in contact with another aircraft. Antov went on to argue that Moscow did everything possible to prevent this kind of incident, including informing the international community in good time about the boundaries of the temporary airspace regime established in the area. While the ambassador said it is a shame for the Pentagon to lose an expensive piece of equipment, he insisted it is not the Russian pilots who should be called out, but rather the American politicians who were inciting the start of an apocalyptic conflict. And yeah, you'll see people that'll be going back and forth. No, the Russians. But we'll see if they keep that same kind of smoke. Now, remember, this is over there on the Russian side, right? Over there, right? And then they said they called and they warned them about these things, right? Now, this story sounds eerily familiar to another story we just had over here in America where everybody was all up in arms. People who have no idea about the shit that's going on, they was all up in arms ready to pull out the guns and start shooting, right? It says Washington has flown drones and surveillance crafts near Russia border on a near constant basis over the last year, providing intelligence along with weapons, ammunition, and money to the Ukrainian government, and as it insists it's not a party in the conflict. So in this scenario, they actually arming this nation that's at war, giving them information and intelligence and everything else like that, man. All right, now the how do I say the flip the flip side to this, the one that I'm comparing this to, was not too long ago. You had this so-called weather balloon that apparently so-called came from China. All right, that they fed to the American people, had the American people to see, just to see what their response was. It's a temperature check to see what their response would be. All right. And the majority of Americans was like, nah, fuck that. Shoot that down. Shoot that down. How dare the Chinese be spying? We got to shoot that down. This is an act of war. We don't give a damn if that's their equipment. So now that the story is flipped here, right? America and them flying their drones over there near the Russian borders. Russia warned them about these things. All right. They didn't shoot it down, but yet, they pretty much downed this damn drone. All right. Now these Americans, we got to retaliate. We can't be having them shooting down our equipment. It's still our equipment. They destroyed our equipment, our equipment, our equipment. Well, how you gonna say China can't retaliate if you shot down a doggone a weather balloon that y'all call a spy balloon, when y'all literally just sent a spy drone over there, which can be fitted with a defensive or offensive mechanisms as well. All right, you can use that same damn drone on a offensive attack. All right, so hey, there's a complete difference with this, man. The weather balloon, in a sense, it's a balloon. It drift wherever it's gonna drift. A drone is being controlled by a pilot. It's gonna go wherever you steer it at, man. All right, and in the China situation, all right, or wherever this balloon came from, it's just a balloon floating. And how the hell you gonna communicate? Again, you trying to communicate information back. How the fuck you gonna communicate information back from the balloon back to base way quicker than if you was to send a drone? That's why I was saying back when that story was out, I'm like, that's what they was really doing. They would have sent something like a drone or an airplane. Communications could go back and forth. What if they was flying over, or if the balloon was drifting over something important, they needed to circle back on around. They can't control the balloon and do all that. But yet America was all up in arms over these things, talking about, hey, we need to go to World War III. But all this is going into what? America trying to, bait these nations into World War III. All right. China, Russia, Iran. All right. You see all these different skirmishes going on with all three of these nations right about now, man. All right. And at the same time, these same deals, even with the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, is rattling America's allies' feathers, man. All right, so hey, man, this is gonna bring them down to their own demise, as the scriptures speak about, man. All right, where's the wit inside of them? What does it say? The candle is right here. Job 18:5. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his flame shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him," man. All right, so hey, he about to be done for, man. All right. It says, "The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down." So what are you thinking about, man? All right, what kind of planning are you really doing? Are you really assessing the things that you got going on? All right, from a so-called carnal stance. You're like, yo, y'all, are y'all asleep at the wheel? What are y'all doing? Y'all don't know what the hell y'all got going on out here, man. But again, like the scriptures speak about, let me well, actually, we can go to I think it's right here. Hold on. All right. Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. Right. So going into planning and all these different things, better believe they have all these think tanks. They planning all these different things. Like I said, there's another precept in here as well too. Here we go. Let me read this as well too. Well, let me go back up. It says, every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. So you would think that these people are sitting around and planning these things out to benefit them. But in reality, all right, verse 24, men's going are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own ways? But in reality, all these things is bringing their own demise. All right, bringing them down to their own, to their end. All right, and we'll get back to that in Job. Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So, hey, they should, in a militarily carnal way, taking the spirit out of all these things. You about to go to war, you should be taking counsel. All right, and in reality, you should always be taking counsel, but we would be taking counsel of the Lord. But I'm speaking for these damn heathens and shit like that, man. All right, and speaking just in a so-called carnal world where the Lord ain't there. It would be wise for you to take counsel with these things, man. But it seems as if these guys aren't taking counsel in a right way. Hey, look, if we do this may provoke Russia, which is a nuclear powered. You know what I'm saying? We don't want this to happen. We don't want to go to World War III because we're thinking about self-preservation. See, that's what you should be doing in a normal sense of things, man. If you're just trying to survive, that's the wisest thing to do. But we understand that this is way deeper than, what just regular minds would be thinking. Like, bro, that sounds stupid. Why would y'all not do this? Why would y'all not do that? Well, what you're not taking account of is the Lord, man. All right, the Lord is in control of all these things, right? Well, let's read that again. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right, man's going is of the way of the Lord. So the Lord is the one that's controlling and conducting the minds of these damn heathen. All right, to fulfill his will is to do what? To bring them out into World War III. All right, face them in the face of Gog and Magog. This is the end of Esau's rulership, man. And he's about to use Esau to destroy East. Well, look, there's a way of saying it. Russia has the Satan 1 and the Satan 2 missile, right? Now, they all Edomites at the end of the day. You call them, Satan, the adversary. But Satan, all right, these Edomites over there in Russia, all right, is about to take out Satan. These Edomites over here in America, all right, with a weapon called Satan. So Satan about to if Satan be against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? All right, a house divided cannot stand. So hey, this is really what you're about to have happen. All right, but all this is actually of the Lord's doing. We understand the spiritual aspect of these things, but again, looking at it from the so-called carnal sense, you everyday Americans, and the reason I keep saying this is because we know that like 2/3 of our people don't understand the truth. But speaking for these damn Edomites, they ain't gonna never understand the truth. You would think if they had some kind of common sense, they would be like, yo, bro, hey, Lindsey Graham, you got to stop talking like this shit, bro. We too close to a nuclear war. Russia over here advancing their weapons. We can't even stockpile to that. If we were such a strong military, we would have defeated Russia in a whole week. With all of NATO feeding Ukraine using, like, if they was really like that, bro, we would have been rolled over Russia, man. But it ain't looking good for them. But guess what, America and their, these American citizens still believe in? Let's push forward, man. All right, they downed our drone. We gotta do something about that. We can't just let them just be doing it. They gonna make us look weak. All right, but all this is gonna bring them. Let's go back. This is all gonna bring them. Job 18:7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened. His own counsel shall cast him down. All right, let me read that end part in the NLT. It says their own schemes shall be their downfall. All right, so planning and plotting, a lot of these times they'll go fly over these nations. All right, over in a sovereign territory, these nations will say, hey, look, don't be flying over here and everything. But then what does America do? They do it anyway. They turn off the transponders. They don't respond to them and nothing like that. And then they do what they want to go and do and say, I wish you would shoot us down and see what happened. All right, but now, hey, the tables are now turning, man. Like the scriptures say, let the weak say I am strong. All right, these nations ain't playing with America no more, man. And all this pride, the pride of thy heart has deceived you. You got talking heads like Lindsey Graham talking about some assassinate Putin and everything else like that and shoot down. We gotta do something about this stuff here, man. All this big talk when the war started breaking out, man. And don't let the people like this fool you, man. All right, because when stuff really, really pop off, they got the means to so-called get up out of here, man. All right, the scriptures speak about them going into their bunkers and things like that, being the first fruits in the captivity. He a low-level Edomite, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, he might be in that contingency plan. Either way, it's not going to go well for him, all right? Verse 8, for he is cast into a net by his own feet and walketh upon a snare. And we'll see what really happens and how they respond to this here down drone. If they just like, you know what? The wisest thing for them to do is like, you know what? We was wrong. We shouldn't have did that. Our bad. We going to move up out of there. But if they want to go ahead and put pedal to the metal, all right, then we'll really see what the response is. Then we'll see if these other nations really call them out for their hypocrisy. Because like I said, it's still fresh on people's mind about the balloons and how they was all acting. I remember hearing on the radio, DJ Envy and them talking about this on the Breakfast Club. Man, we got to shoot down. We can't let them do this. We can't like, bro, y'all some punters that don't got nothing to do, don't know nothing about no war, none of this type of shit. But you're on the radio broadcasting to a bunch of Jakes who don't have no idea about none of this shit too, that they're going to just follow what you say. You know how Jake, man, they sending balloons. We got to shoot that shit down. We got to. Y'all don't realize what y'all asking for. You know what I'm saying? Again, you play with the bull, you get the horns. Are you asking for these nations to come over here and bring war to y'all while Jake out here partying and bullshitting when the what they call the raid sirens and shit start going off? They're gonna be mad they can't go to the club and can't twerk and pop bottles no more, man. But this is what y'all over here asking for instead of being of a rational mind. I'm like, you know what? We need de-escalation. We need to stop sending aid to Ukraine. We need to stop provoking Russia. We need to stop sending our planes over there today, sovereign borders. We need to stop trying to overthrow their government. We need to stop talking all crazy about their leaders and shit like that, because if the shoe is on the other foot, what happens if these Russian governors or Russian senators and things like that was talking about doing something to our leadership and things like that? These Americans will be up in arms, man. They'd be ready to go to war tomorrow. So, hey, put a mirror in front of your face and see how, those things really sound, man. All right. It says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet and walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. There is a snare laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. It says the strength. And so, hey, you got China on one front, Russia on another front. You have basically a civil war going on in America, economic war going on here in America. All right. You have, the protests with the Jakes and police and shit like that, man. All right. Economic collapses going on over here with the bank collapses and everything else like that, man. People about to be bankrupt. All right. You got your allies that you sabotaging the pipelines and the energy sectors and things like that. So you got terrorists on every front, man. All right. You got calamities all the way around you. You don't know where it's going to come from, man. This is like that bully in school or some person who done burned all the bridges in the neighborhood. You done robbed everybody in the neighborhood, man. But now you scared to go and check the mail, man. You scared to go ride down the street because you don't know who is in what passing car and where that get back is going to come from. All right. It says, his strength shall be hunger bitten and destruction shall be at his side. It says, it shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall be there. Shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. All right. And it says, verse 15, and it shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. So he's going to be brought to the king of terrors, man. All right. When the Lord finally judges him, man, he's going to use Russia and these other nations to shoot these nukes down upon them, man. Turning America into what? The lake of fire, man. All right, so this is going to be how it ultimately ends. But you see the pride of these stupid-ass Americans talking about some, hey, man, we got to do something about this stuff. We need to do this. We need to do that. But they don't realize what their end is going to be. All right, the lake of fire, man. All right, and those that survive the first fruits in the captivity, man. All right, the Lord ain't playing. This is the time that Esau is going to get judged, man. All right. Matter of fact, we'll close out with that. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this precept real quick. Oh, give me a second. Wait. Stop what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for either. Here we go in verse 18. It says, the nation wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and thou should give its reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great. All right, and we're at that point in time now where the Lord should, give his elect the kingdom. All right. It says, and should just destroy them which destroyeth the earth. All right. So now it's the time of the judge of Esau's judgment, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and ever will. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.